Yeah, the science is settled, that said Al Gore, which is the most unscientific statement you could meet, because science must always go over the previous findings and constantly dissect it, retry it. So it's a political communist ploy using an excuse to get communism through. That's what it is. Remember, at the Rees Commission, they said their job was, for the foundations, with all their thousands of NGOs, was to alter the culture so drastically in the Western world. They'd blend it seamlessly with that of the Soviet Union. Well, that's what it's all about, but they can't see we're going along with communism now. They're using it, so they use different names for different parts of it, but it's the same agenda, a socialist system worldwide with experts running the world and all the lesser ones doing what they're told with obedience. That's what they're bringing in. So any excuse will do. A comet from outer space will hit us in the year 2060, or anything will do. Any farce will do, and this is the one they've picked on.
Oh, it's unbelievable, Alan. I'm going to come back and take calls for the balance of the 40 minutes we have left with you. It just hurts me at a primitive level, because I have this defense mechanism for innocence, to watch them arresting homeschooling parents now for no reason in America. It's just...
Yeah.
God. We have fallen so far.
The U.S. Was the last country in the world that had strong family units, and they're demolishing it right now.
They're outlawing it, and they take the rebellion of the children and turn it against the parents. Unbelievable. We're going to Dustin, Justin, Mark, Ken, and others in just one moment for the balance of the hour, taking your phone calls, hitting some other news. But I want to lay it out there. Joseph McCarthy, the Russians have now declassified it a decade ago, was absolutely right about everything to a certain point. As soon as he found out the Pentagon was running the communists, which has now been declassified, funding them, he was destroyed. As soon as he found out big financiers were running it to consolidate power, to socialize our wealth. We need to realize we are up against a conspiracy of parasites and control freaks and compartmentalized crooks that the social engineers hire and roll out their programs through Federal Reserve money worldwide. They have unlimited money. And really start recognizing when somebody wants to interrogate your kids, they're a hardcore anti-American piece of trash. When somebody wants to force drug you, they're your enemy. Not just, oh, the government's out of control. We need to gut up and start letting these people know we know you're criminals, and let their minions know they're criminals. And they're all engaged in crime. They all are immoral. You track a corrupt mayor, a corrupt judge, you're going to find them doing crimes. Put it on YouTube, burn them. I mean, folks, if you activate as secret operatives against the New World Order, there's no orders. You know evil, you know corruption, engage them. Turn yourselves loose. Look what I've done in 14 years. Devastating the enemy. Devastating the enemy. And I'm only one person with one operation. You can all activate and do things untold. The enemy operates covertly. You can operate overtly, covertly. There's so many ways to beat them. But when you realize you're in a scientific dictatorship, you're fighting for your very future. They're already poisoning people en masse. We're in the middle of just absolute war, as Alan Watt was saying. Alan?
Yes, and hopefully one day down the road, there'll be the biggest Nuremberg trial ever put on in history, where all these characters will pay for their crimes against humanity.
And public service announcements will be educating people in sophisticated propaganda so they know how to recognize scumbag lying and manipulation.
I really think the signs and symptoms of the psychopath should be taught in school. Because these are the type who go up into these positions. They get into the Pentagon, they get up the ranks of business, they get up the ranks of politics. They have an insatiable craving for utter, complete power. And there are definite signs and symptoms with them. They're totally corruptible because they have no right or wrongs within them. Whatever is right simply benefits them. But we've got to expose them for who they are.
And they're obsessed with the science of control that they spend trillions studying.
Yes. And you're quite correct, though, when you say that when they want to drug your children and so on, it's the same as we're coming to kill your children. If they're coming to destroy the brain of your child, then, you know... Their soul, their destiny, their will. Yeah. then you're dealing with murderers here, and they must be treated as murderers. Don't lose what they're really doing through scientific garble.
Exactly. I think the biggest awakening, Alan, is realizing, I mean, I'm a normal person. I'm a normal red-blooded aggressive person who isn't stupid, but I'm not that smart. And when I read scientific manuals on how they're attacking everyone, I start warning people, what are you supposed to do?
And there's got to be a mass movement. It's going to be a mass movement, grassroots.
And they're going to put up fake movements and fake left-right and fake tea parties and fake... No, you got to go into all those groups, use those groups against themselves, and use those organizations to educate the core people to then see... Because most of the leaders don't even know.
Well, yeah, lots of them are out of the loop. They don't have to be in the loop, and a lot of them prefer to be out of the loop because they've got plausible deniability. Their own pockets are getting well feathered and nested. So they don't care how things are done as long as their name is kept out of it. But technically, one day shall come and they will all answer for their crimes. They're massive crimes, absolutely.
But that's the sick part about the New World Order. They have this sick logic, dark logic is what I call it, of where they have to warn us about what they're doing, and then they love, statistically, they attack their own mid-level and low-level minions. It's like a religion. They'll say, we did this to you. Now watch us take this minion. Just rip him about. I mean, and then they almost, those of us that are awake, they almost respect us. And if we get persecuted and go through it, then it's almost like we're a sacred cow. I don't know how to describe it.
Well, you got to understand the psychopath lives on pure ego, their own ego. And outside of that ego, nothing really exists. So they love to boast. It's like a serial rapist is no different. They're very clever. When they get caught, they will tell you everything, how clever they were with every one of their crimes. Quite openly, blatantly, no remorse, no emotion, but they want you to respect them for being so darn clever. That's the psychopath. So that's why they attack their lessers. They infight at times for more power amongst themselves.
I've also been told by top globalists that they enjoy hearing about how evil they are.
Yes, they do. Yeah.
They love it. This show is one of their favorite entertainments. And the public says, kill me. Oh, I love it. We'll be right back with your calls.
Everybody rolls with their fingers crossed. Everybody knows the war is over. Everybody knows the good guys lost.
That was aired nationwide. That was the local Austin version saying Mercury's good for your children. That's how dumb they think you are. They are making insanity mainline. Let's go to your phone calls. Alan Watt of CutThroughTheMatrix.com is our guest. Very nice of him to join us. He's also in my film, Fall of the Republic. Let's talk to Dustin. Dustin in PA, thanks for holding her on the air worldwide.
Hey, Alex, how you doing? Long time, first time. I was calling in regards to well, first, I live in a small town in Lancaster, PA of 55,000. We recently had over 160 surveillance cameras put into our city. The LA Times on the June 21st of 2009 issue did an article on us, little old Lancaster in LA, and how we have private companies watching us with our surveillance system. I do work for the city of Lancaster, and I expected that we would be in charge and ask some questions, and nobody knows nothing, but yet the government is federally funding over 170 surveillance cameras in our little old city.
And that's to track everybody. Every town's getting them. Private groups get it. The government then, in revolving doors, the private people in government make money as consultants and working for those companies. And so, of course, it's all privatized. They take your tax money and then turn your town into a prison. Alan Watt.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. A lot of big bucks are passed to the feds as well to pass it. It's generally a company or companies from Israel that gets the contract. So they're heavy lobbyists for it. The Verint company, they're the ones that put them all throughout Britain as well. And you're quite right. The whole idea is to, again, it's got more than, it's not just to track you, it's to get you used to being watched. It's to alter your behavior. You're not spontaneous anymore walking down on a street, even in company. You don't laugh the same, don't joke the same. You're always aware you're being watched. So
they're above you. They're the government. They're the all-seeing God.
Yes, but it literally it actually encourages you to alter your own behavior until you become Sovietized. In the Soviet Union, you didn't look left or right, if you walked down the road, you stared at the sidewalk and didn't make eye contact with anyone because it could be dangerous.
By the way, that's been in the news. A lot of cops now, if you look at them, they pull over.
Yes.
You don't look at me, boy. You think this is America?
Yep, that's right. And all the cops, as you know, have been completely militarized, same military training. They're one big brother who's now on the winning side. You are now called civilians. You're not the general public anymore. You're civilians, and you're threatening them when you look at them or stare at them, or even ask them a question. You're very threatening them.
Yeah, a lot of police around the country. Oh, excuse me, officer. And it's like, do I look like a travel agency? Get moving. Pay the taxes. I mean, it's just like,